Hi, welcome to another video. Bahima Angie, welcome to my page. This page is all about college prep, everything just to help any first gen low income high school student be a success in college. And I decided to add reaction videos because why not? And so today I'm going to be reacting to SNL, Cut for Time college admissions, and let's see how accurate, in my view, how accurate the college admissions thing is with SNL. So without further ado, let's go.
All right, guys, as you know, we're down to the wire. We've got to make final decisions about who gets off the wait list to join the class of 2023.
Man, there are so many qualified candidates, but only so few spots.
I know. It's like my Bumble account.
What?
We're looking to admit about 5 more students, and in lieu of some of the embarrassing news stories out there, let's be extra careful with our choices.
We have to make sure it's all about merit.
I agree.
Okay, so our first applicant on the wait list is Luisa Rodriguez. Now, her test scores are slightly lower than we'd like, but her essay and grades are outstanding.
Well, I like Louisa a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, we also have Johnny Ferrigno. He's Lou Ferrigno's grandson.
Oh, let's do that.
Ugh, I agree. He Hollywood. He fun.
And I love the idea that Lou Ferrigno might just like show up on campus one day. So cool.
Now, his grades were a little low.
Yeah, but when you're famous like Johnny Ferrigno, people come up to you during tests and ask for autographs and selfies.
Okay, so this is actually very accurate. And I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but the fact that celeb kids and, you know, kids with money get first like choice, even when their grades don't add up or whatnot, it's like, oh, do you know somebody? You're gonna get into a good school, which is also why it was so weird for me when a few years back, you know, the whole like college scandal about people paying for their kids to go, and it's like, you don't have to do any of that. They have your last name. You're getting into a school. I don't know why. Like, how bad were your kids' grades that you had to pay someone off? That just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, moving on.
Is Jackie Keebler, heir to the Keebler Elves fortune.
She looks qualified to me.
I agree. Very studious and studientious.
And I could see her dating Jared Frigno.
Ooh, that would be amazing. They could have their wedding here.
Okay, now Jackie did have a 2.5 GPA, and her only extracurricular was snails.
Yeah, but I can tell from the hand holding money that she has a solid business acumen. And no one else in the incoming class is focused on snails. Very true. Snails are a weak spot for us.
Okay, great. 2 spots filled.
It's very interesting how many excuses that are being made. I know this is like, you know, satire or whatnot, but we all know satire is very close to the truth. So it's very interesting how they're automatically like, oh, no. See, yeah, they are creative. We will find a way for it. But it also gives me very lackluster. Honestly, her putting only snails as her extracurricular activities, because unless it's like sports where they're gonna, you know, like check, for the most part for extracurriculars, I don't really see them like stalking your yearbook to make sure you're in these clubs. So the fact that she couldn't even put down, oh, I've been to 1 meeting of cheerleading, I've been to 1 meeting of robotics, you could so easily fake it that it does not make sense why she isn't. And I'm not saying fake it, I'm just saying that there are so many things she could have put, and she puts nails. But then she already knew with the 2.4 GPA she was getting into college with the Keebler money. They're just gonna donate a building, you know?
I do still love Louisa, though.
Louisa is amazing.
Should we keep her in the mix?
No.
Okay, so next up we...
I really hope this doesn't happen. I know it happens, but I really hope this doesn't happen where, you know, an excellent student gets passed down every time just for money and fame, which is the reality of the thing. It's annoying, I know, but that's kind of the reality. That's not saying don't try, though.
We have Luke Jeffries, whose math SAT score was very low, but then he submitted this photo of himself solving a high-level physics equation.
And are we sure that's really him?
Well, unfortunately, we have no way of determining whether it's really him or not.
And his last name is Jeffries. Any relation to the giraffe?
The fictional giraffe from Toys R Us.
That could be a big donation.
Well, Toys R Us is currently bankrupt, so I would say a donation from their cartoon giraffe is highly unlikely.
Well, he could also replace our current mascot, the gay redskin.
It's gonna be so.
Wow. There's so many things wrong. I can't even say anything about that. That's just okay. Moving on.
Sounds like Luke is a yes.
Big time, big time.
Okay, and I know I'm not supposed to say this about the applicants, but would bang.
Okay.
You're never supposed to say that because most of these applicants are going to be underage. So this.
And next up is Kevin Willett.
Huh. That appears to be a mugshot.
Yes, it is. Kevin is currently in juvenile detention for stabbing two of his friends, but he is a fourth-generation legacy.
Ooh, I like that.
And he's probably got all the stabbing out of his system.
Well, he sounds like a more exciting version of Louisa.
Yeah, Louise hasn't stabbed anyone yet, and I'm starting to hate that about her.
Yeah, and listen to her essay. I would be the first person in my family to go to college. It's not a race.
Okay, so it sounds like we're admitting.
It's actually very interesting that they would bring up legacy. This is becoming very accurate in my view. But it's interesting that they'll bring up legacy, especially since we already know it's like a little easier for legacy kids. I'm not saying they don't have to work hard, but you know, when your parents already went there, you already have a shoe in. And so for him to be fourth generation, those are the people where, you know, their names on every building, all of that. And they're looking at donations and legacy. And so that kind of puts those of us who are first gen and low income, you're just like, check, we're gonna consider you last. And here's the thing, I understand that they also need to make the money to give us the scholarships, right? But it's actually quite crazy that they get all these endowments and they get all these things from alumni and whatnot, and they will consider everybody else before somebody who's actually qualified. Now this is coming from somebody who take it with a grain of salt, whatever I say if you want to, but it is quite sad that that's the reality and how accurate SNL is being.
Kevin, so we're down 2 spots. Well, I got him for ya. Excuse me?
Yeah, I am Coach Conchocklin. I run the women's crew team, and I have got a couple primo recruits that you are going to want to admit ASAP.
Uh-huh. And do we have their applications?
Oh, you sure do. Throw Madison Wigglesworth on there. This is a rower? Oh, yeah. She's got a perfect build. 5'1", 98 pounds, tiny, hollow bird bones. I mean, she's liable to rip an oarlock clean off the boat.
Now, it looks like she's riding a horse.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a land boat, is what we call that. And, I've also been scouting another top-notch gal, Lady Bird Dwayne Reed. Now, she's been rowing up and down the rivers of Beverly Hills.
And are we confident that's not a boy in a wig?
I've never seen a boy in a wig look at that.
Has obviously not seen a good drag show.
Okay, Coach Conchocklin, is it?
Conchocklin, yes. My mother is German and my dad is Count Chocula.
Wonderful. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to ask, were you in any way paid by these girls' families to lie about them being elite athletes?
Oh, absolutely not, and I resent that accusation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go drive home in the actual Batmobile, which I purchased on a normal crew coach salary.
Hence what I was saying earlier regarding the celebrities and certain people paying for their kids to get in by faking all these things. Well, you could have just had your kid participate in all throughout high school. It's not asking them to be the best. Just have them participate. You know, China's not that hard.
Okay, and our last applicant, Alice Fong.
Okay, guys, can I just ask something? I'm sure Alice is great, but do you ever feel like we're admitting too many Asian students?
Is this a trap? Is this a trap?
No, I'm serious. Alice has, great grades and all, but do you guys think her personality is interesting enough?
Why are you doing this to us, Deborah?
And what's with her face, right? You can't tell what she's thinking. It's like all these Asians are, what's the word?
Sneaky?
Admissions police, you're all under arrest.
Damn it, Carl, she was undercover.
Well, you mean this whole time she wasn't really Asian? Yeah.
Not the Aunt Becky Productions. Okay, so it's actually very interesting the way they ended this, and I will make a little comment on that. So the reason why I find it very interesting is that there's the continuous kind of lawsuit against Harvard and several, I believe, Ivy Leagues on discriminating against Asian students, which I won't say they do or they don't. What is interesting about it, though, is that a lot of it, one, other than the fact that it's backed by a man who was made a a white man. There are a lot of Asian students suing and Asian parents as well, but there was a white man backing everything who has been anti-black for so long. And it's interesting how the claim goes, oh, they're allowing too many black students in and rejecting Asians. And it's like, those are not the people you're supposed to be focusing on, especially since black people are a minority, way smaller minority in Harvard than Asians are at Harvard. And you should be attacking those legacy kids, not legacy kids specifically, but those legacy admissions, as well as those, people who are getting in just because they're rich and all of that. But there's this inherent ideology that if someone is black, they're automatically not qualified to be in the space that they are, which is not true. Like, I have had so many people, I literally had another student tell me that I only got into college because of affirmative action. Mind you, it's not like I went to like one of the top 10. I got in because I was qualified to get in. And so it's crazy how they think they're way overqualified for it, but I'm not qualified for it. They didn't know anything about my grades. They didn't know anything about me, and they decided to make that statement. And it was a person of color. So it's very interesting how even as people of color, we automatically assume that just because someone is black, they're inherently, stupid, and they're only in college because they're an affirmative action pick, which is not true. So let's all continuously to love and respect each other. This was fun. I will definitely do more. But this has been me reacting to Cut for Time college admissions with SNL. Y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.